Choice is the most powerful tool we possess. Think about it. Every single thing in your life right now, your career, your relationships, your health, is the result of choices you've made, consciously or unconsciously. And here's the most liberating part. No matter where you are today, you can make a new choice right now that can completely alter the course of your life. But why is choice so powerful? Because it gives us control. It puts us in the driver's seat. No matter how chaotic life feels, no matter what circumstances you're facing, choice is the one thing that no one and nothing can ever take away from you. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, said it beautifully. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Yet many people live as if they're powerless. They blame their upbringing, their environment, their past failures. They say things like, I had no other option, or this is just how life is. But that's not true. You always have a choice. You may not control what happens to you, but you can always choose how you respond to it. And that response is what shapes your future. The real question is, are you choosing consciously, or are you letting life choose for you? Far too often, we make choices out of habit. We choose based on what's comfortable, what's familiar, or what's easy. But real change doesn't come from easy choices. It comes from the hard ones, the ones that push you outside your comfort zone, the ones that challenge you to grow. Let me give you an example. Imagine standing at a fork in the road. One path is well-trodden, smooth, and predictable. The other is rocky, steep, and uncertain. Most people will instinctively choose the easy path, even if it leads them to a destination they don't want. Why? Because it feels safe. But here's the irony. The harder path, the one that seems intimidating and uncomfortable, is often the one that leads to growth, success, and fulfillment. The choices we make aren't just decisions, they're declarations. Every time you choose to try something new, to let go of something that doesn't serve you, or to take a step toward your goals, you're declaring to yourself and to the world, I am in control of my life. And that declaration has power. It builds confidence, momentum, and a sense of purpose. But let's not pretend that making the right choice is always easy. Fear gets in the way, self-doubt creeps in, the voice in your head says, what if you fail? What if it's too hard? What if it's not worth it? These fears are natural, but they're also the gatekeepers of change. Every time you face fear and choose to move forward anyway, you take back a little more of your power. And let's not forget, not choosing is also a choice. When you hesitate, when you procrastinate, when you let opportunities pass you by, you're still making a decision. You're choosing to stay where you are. So the question isn't, will you make a choice? You're making choices every day. The real question is, are your choices moving you closer to the life you want or further away from it? The beauty of choice is that it's available to you at every moment. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed, how long you've been stuck, or how big the challenges in front of you are. You can choose to start fresh. You can choose to try again. You can choose to believe in yourself even when no one else does. Choice is the ultimate freedom, and with that freedom comes responsibility. Every decision you make, no matter how small, is a step in one direction or another. It's like steering a ship. Tiny adjustments may not seem significant in the moment, but over time they determine whether you end up in a safe harbor or stranded in the middle of nowhere. So when you think about the power of choice, remember this. You're not just choosing for today. You're choosing for your future self. The decisions you make now will shape the person you become, the opportunities you create, and the life you build. Choose wisely, choose boldly, and above all, choose consciously. Patterns are the invisible threads that weave the fabric of our lives. They are the habits, routines, and behaviors we repeat day after day, often without realizing it. At first glance, patterns seem harmless, helpful even. They simplify our lives, make us efficient, and give us a sense of predictability. But here's the thing, not all patterns serve us. In fact, some of the most deeply ingrained patterns can keep us stuck, holding us back from the life we're capable of living. About it. How often do you find yourself repeating the same actions even when you know they're not working? Maybe it's hitting snooze every morning instead of waking up early to work on your goals. Maybe it's procrastinating on a project you know could change your life. Or maybe it's staying in relationships, jobs, or situations that drain you simply because they feel familiar. These patterns become prisons, locking us into cycles of frustration and regret. Why do we hold on to patterns that don't serve us? Because they're comfortable. Even when a pattern leads to negative outcomes, it's familiar, and familiarity feels safe. It's the mind's way of avoiding uncertainty and risk. Breaking a pattern means stepping into the unknown, and for many people, that's terrifying. But here's the truth. Nothing changes unless you do. If you want a different result, you must be willing to break the cycle. And breaking patterns starts with awareness. You can't change what you don't recognize. Take a hard, honest look at your life. Identify the habits, thoughts, and behaviors that keep leading you to the same dead ends. This process isn't easy. It requires vulnerability and courage, but it's the first step toward freedom. Once you've identified a pattern, the next step is to disrupt it. This doesn't mean making small tweaks or minor adjustments. It means interrupting the pattern so forcefully that it can no longer hold its grip on you. For example, if you always start your day scrolling through your phone, try replacing that habit with a walk or journaling session. If you find yourself avoiding uncomfortable conversations, commit to having one today, no matter how difficult it feels. These disruptions may feel awkward at first, but that's the point. They're designed to shake you out of autopilot. And let's be clear, breaking a pattern isn't a one-time event, it's a process. The mind loves to revert to what's familiar, so you'll need to be vigilant. Expect resistance, expect setbacks, but don't let those moments define you. Every time you fall back into an old pattern, view it as an opportunity to recommit to the new one. Growth isn't about perfection, it's about There's a powerful psychological principle called the comfort zone. It's the mental space where your patterns live, where everything feels safe and predictable, but growth happens outside the comfort zone. It happens when you're willing to endure discomfort, uncertainty, and even fear. Breaking patterns means pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone over and over again. And each time you do, that zone expands. What once felt impossible begins to feel achievable. Let's also talk about the stories we tell ourselves about our patterns. Often we justify them with excuses. This is just who I am. I've always been this way, or I can't change now. These stories are lies we tell ourselves to avoid doing the hard work of change. You are not your patterns. You are the author of your life, and you have the power to rewrite the script at any moment. It's important to remember that patterns don't just exist in your actions. They exist in your thoughts and emotions too. If you consistently think, I'm not good enough, that's a pattern. If you react to challenges with anger, fear, or self-doubt, those are patterns too. Breaking these internal patterns is just as crucial as changing your external habits. It starts with questioning your thoughts and challenging your emotions. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is this emotion serving me? What can I choose instead? Breaking patterns isn't about eliminating struggle, it's about choosing growth over stagnation. It's about deciding that your future is worth more than your comfort. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined, and while the process may be difficult, the rewards are immeasurable. Because on the other side of every broken pattern lies freedom, empowerment, and the life you've been waiting to create. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world. It shapes your thoughts, drives your decisions, and ultimately determines the quality of your life. A mindset isn't just what you think, it's how you think. It's the set of beliefs and attitudes that dictate whether you see obstacles or opportunities, whether you approach challenges with fear or courage, and whether you settle for what is or strive for what could be. The mindset shift is one of the most profound changes you can make in your life. It's the process of transforming how you think about yourself, your circumstances, and your potential. Why is this so important? Because everything starts in the mind. Before you take action, before you make a decision, before you pursue a dream, it all begins with a thought. Change your thoughts and you'll change your actions. Change your actions and you'll change your life. One of the biggest barriers to growth is a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset believes that your abilities, intelligence, and potential are set in stone. It whispers lies like, I'm just not good at this, or I'll never succeed, or this is the way I've always been. When you have a fixed mindset, failure feels permanent, effort feels pointless, and challenges feel insurmountable. It's like trying to climb a mountain while carrying a heavy load of self-doubt. Contrast this with a growth mindset. A growth mindset believes that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through hard work, learning, and persistence. It embraces challenges as opportunities to grow, sees failure as a stepping stone to success, and views effort as the path to mastery. When you adopt a growth mindset, you realize that your potential is not determined by where you start, but by how willing you are to grow. Shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset is like opening a door to a new world of possibilities. It requires you to question the beliefs you've held about yourself and your limitations. It means replacing thoughts like, I can't do this, with, I can learn how to do this. It means viewing mistakes not as evidence of failure, but as lessons that guide you towards success. But let's be honest, changing your mindset isn't easy. Our beliefs are deeply ingrained, shaped by years of experiences, influences, and even societal expectations. It's natural to fall back into old ways of thinking, especially when faced with setbacks. That's why awareness is the first step. Pay attention to your thoughts. Notice when you're doubting yourself or resisting change. Awareness creates the space for new thoughts to take root. Once you're aware of your mindset, the next step is to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this belief serving me? Is it helping me grow, or is it holding me back? For example, if you catch yourself thinking, I'll never be good at this, ask, why not? What's stopping me from learning, improving, and succeeding? Often you'll find that the limitations you've placed on yourself are nothing more than stories you've been telling yourself. And here's the good news. You have the power to rewrite those stories. A mindset shift also involves changing your relationship with failure. Most people fear failure because they see it as a reflection of their worth. But failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of the process. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of failed attempts, lessons learned, and perseverance. When you shift your mindset to view failure as feedback, you no longer fear it. Instead, you embrace it as an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Another critical aspect of a mindset shift is focusing on what you can control. Too often, people get stuck in a cycle of frustration because they're fixated on things outside their control, other people's opinions, the economy, the past. But when you shift your focus to what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your attitude, you take back your power. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the creator of your destiny. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for shifting your mindset. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you train your mind to see abundance rather than lack. Gratitude shifts your perspective from what's missing to what's possible. It opens your eyes to the opportunities and blessings that are already present in your life, paving the way for more to come. Visualization is another technique that can help transform your mindset. When you visualize your goals and see yourself achieving them, you're programming your mind for success. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's a mental rehearsal. It helps you build belief in your ability to succeed and aligns your thoughts and actions with your desired outcome. One of the most empowering aspects of a mindset shift is realizing that you are not your thoughts. Just because a negative thought pops into your mind doesn't mean it's true, and it doesn't mean you have to act on it. You have the ability to observe your thoughts, question them, and choose new ones. This is where true freedom lies, the freedom to choose how you think, no matter what's happening around you. A mindset shift isn't a one-time event, it's an ongoing journey. It requires consistent effort, reflection, and a willingness to challenge yourself. But the rewards are worth it. When you change your mindset, you change your life. You open the door to new possibilities, greater resilience, and a deeper sense of purpose. And as you continue to grow, you'll discover that there are no limits to what you can achieve. Action is the great separator between those who dream and those who achieve. It's the bridge that connects ideas to outcomes, visions to realities, and goals to success. You can have the most brilliant plan in the world, but without action, it's just a wish, a fleeting thought, a missed opportunity. Action is the catalyst that transforms potential into progress and progress into transformation. So why is action so powerful? Because it disrupts inertia. Inertia is the natural state of staying where you are, doing what's comfortable and avoiding change. It's that voice in your head that says, maybe tomorrow, or I'm not ready yet. But here's the truth. The perfect time never comes. Waiting for all the stars to align, for the fear to go away, or for the circumstances to be ideal is the quickest path to stagnation. Action cuts through all of that. It says, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to wait and start now. The beauty of action is that it doesn't have to be perfect to be effective. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that they need to have everything figured out before they begin. They think they need the perfect plan, the right skills, or complete confidence. But action doesn't require perfection. It requires commitment. The most successful people didn't start with all the answers. They started with a willingness to learn as they went. They understood that clarity comes from engagement, not thought. Think about it. How often have you spent hours, days, or even weeks overthinking a decision, only to find that taking one small step cleared up all the uncertainty? That's the power of action. It creates momentum, and momentum is magic. The first step may feel heavy, like pushing a car that's stuck in neutral, but once you get it moving, the effort required decreases, and the results multiply. Another reason action is so powerful is that it builds confidence. Confidence doesn't come from waiting until you feel ready. It comes from doing. Every step you take, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that you're capable. It silences the doubts, quiets the fears, and proves to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. Confidence is a muscle, and action is the exercise that strengthens it. Action is also a powerful antidote to fear. Fear thrives in the absence of action. It grows when you hesitate, when you overthink, when you let what-if scenarios take over your mind. But the moment you take action, fear begins to shrink. Why? Because fear is often rooted in the unknown. When you act, you step into that unknown, and you realize it's not as scary as your mind made it out to be. Even if things don't go as planned, you learn, you adapt, and you grow. One of the most important things to understand about action is that it doesn't have to be grand or dramatic to be effective. In fact, small actions often lead to the biggest changes over time. It's the principle of compounding. A single step may not seem significant, but when repeated consistently, those steps add up to monumental progress. It's like planting seeds. Each action you take is a seed you're planting for your future. With time, effort, and persistence, those seeds grow into results that far exceed what you initially imagined. But let's address the elephant in the room. Taking action isn't always easy. There will be resistance, internal and external. Internally, you'll face doubts, fears, and the temptation to procrastinate. Externally, you may face criticism, setbacks, and obstacles. But here's the thing. Action is what helps you overcome all of that. It teaches you resilience. It shows you that you're stronger than you think. Every time you push through resistance and take a step forward, you're building a foundation of grit and determination. It's also important to understand that not all actions will lead to immediate success, and that's okay. Action isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Some actions will fail and some will succeed. But even the failures are valuable because they provide feedback. They teach you what works and what doesn't, helping you refine your approach. In this way, action becomes a cycle of learning and growth. Each step you take brings you closer to your goals, even if the path isn't a straight line. Another powerful aspect of action is its ability to inspire others. When you take action, you create a ripple effect. Your courage, determination, and persistence can motivate those around you to step up and take action in their own lives. This is especially true when you're pursuing a big goal or overcoming significant challenges. People are inspired by action because it's tangible proof that change is possible. But perhaps the most transformative aspect of action is how it changes your identity. Every time you act, you're reinforcing a belief about who you are. When you consistently take action, you begin to see yourself as someone who is capable, resourceful, and unstoppable. You shift from being a dreamer to a doer, from someone who hopes to someone who makes things happen. This shift in identity is incredibly powerful because it shapes how you approach every aspect of your life. In the end, action is the great equalizer. No matter where you start, no matter what challenges you face, action gives you the power to create change. It's not about being the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. It's about being willing to take the first step and keep moving forward. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces you can harness in life. It's the invisible energy that propels you forward, amplifying your efforts and making progress feel almost effortless. Think of it like riding a bike. The hardest part is getting started, pedaling those first few strokes to overcome inertia. But once you're moving, every push of the pedal takes you further and faster with less effort. Momentum is the key to sustained growth, whether it's in your career, relationships, health, or personal development. Growth, on the other hand, is the ultimate goal. It's the expansion of your abilities, mindset, and capacity to achieve more and become more. Growth isn't linear. It doesn't happen in a straight line. It's messy, unpredictable, and often uncomfortable. But when combined with momentum, growth accelerates exponentially. Momentum and growth are a dynamic duo, each feeding into the other in a self-reinforcing cycle. So how do you create momentum? It starts with taking action, any action. The first step doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be taken. Too often, people wait for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions before they begin. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion, and waiting for it is the fastest way to stay stuck. Momentum isn't built on perfection, it's built on progress. The moment you take that first step, you've already begun to shift the energy in your favor. Small wins are critical in this process. They act as the spark that ignites the fire of momentum. Each time you complete a task, overcome a challenge, or achieve a goal, no matter how small, you build confidence and reinforce the belief that progress is possible. These wins create a positive feedback loop. They make you want to keep going, to take the next step, and the step after that. But momentum isn't just about starting, it's about sustaining. This is where consistency comes into play. Consistency is the engine that keeps momentum alive. It's not about making huge leaps every day. It's about showing up, doing the work, and making progress, even if it's incremental. Over time, these consistent efforts compound, creating results that far exceed the sum of their parts. Now, let's talk about the relationship between momentum and growth. Growth doesn't happen in isolation. It requires action, effort, and persistence, all of which are fueled by momentum. When you're in motion, you're more likely to take risks, embrace challenges, and push beyond your comfort zone. Momentum gives you the courage to tackle the hard things because you've already built evidence that progress is possible. Growth, in turn, fuels momentum. Each time you grow, whether it's learning a new skill, gaining a new insight, or achieving a new milestone, you create more energy to keep moving forward. Growth is inspiring. It reminds you of what's possible and motivates you to aim higher. This is why momentum and growth are so intertwined. One leads to the other in a continuous upward spiral. But what happens when momentum stalls? Because let's face it, there will be times when it's once obstacles in your path. Maybe you lose motivation, face setbacks, or feel overwhelmed. This is where resilience comes in. Resilience is the ability to keep going, even when things get tough. It's about finding ways to rebuild momentum, even if it means starting small again. Rebuilding momentum often requires going back to the basics. Break your goals into smaller, manageable steps. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Celebrate every bit of progress, no matter how minor it seems. The key is to get moving again, even if it feels slow at first. Remember, momentum is like a flywheel. It takes effort to get it spinning, but once it's in motion, it carries its own weight. One of the most underrated aspects of momentum and growth is the role of mindset. Your mindset shapes how you approach challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. A growth mindset, the belief that you can improve through effort and learning, is essential for maintaining momentum. It allows you to see failures as lessons, obstacles as opportunities, and progress as a journey rather than a destination. Another critical factor is environment. The people, places, and habits that surround you can either fuel your momentum or drain it. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire and challenge you. Create an environment that supports your goals, whether it's a clutter-free workspace, a schedule that prioritizes your priorities, or a routine that keeps you focused. Momentum thrives in a supportive environment. Momentum and growth also require alignment. When your actions are aligned with your values, goals, and purpose, you create a sense of flow. This alignment makes the work feel meaningful, which in turn fuels your desire to keep going. Growth without purpose can feel empty, and momentum without direction can lead to burnout. Aligning your efforts with your greater vision ensures that your progress is both sustainable and fulfilling. It's also important to recognize that momentum and growth aren't just about doing more, they're about doing better. They're about refining your strategies, learning from your experiences, and continuously improving. This is where reflection becomes crucial. Take the time to assess your progress, celebrate your wins, and identify areas for improvement. Reflection helps you stay on track and ensures that your momentum is leading to meaningful growth. Momentum and growth are not reserved for the lucky or the talented. They're available to anyone who is willing to take the first step, commit to the process, and stay consistent. They don't require perfection or extraordinary resources, just a willingness to start, to persist, and to believe in the power of progress. When you harness momentum and growth, you tap into one of the most powerful forces in life, a force that can propel you toward your dreams, unlock your potential, and create a life that exceeds your wildest expectations.